My friends, welcome to this episode of the Outdoor Gear Review, where today I'm reviewing this pack here. This is the Granite Gear Crown V 60-liter pack. This is becoming a very popular backpack for numerous reasons. One, it's ultra lightweight, and two, it's not very expensive, especially when you compare this to other ultralight backpacking systems. I picked this up for $140. The retail price is around $200. This is the successor, the improved version of the classic Crown V.C 60-liter backpack. And in this episode, I'm giving you all my thoughts, my opinions, the pros and cons that I've discovered with this pack. And also, I will be sharing some suggestions for Granite gear that will make this a better backpack. With all of that being said, folks, let's go ahead, let's get to it. There's a lot to go over. To begin the review, let's start with stats concerning this backpack. There's a lot to go over, and I will be as brief as possible. So, first off, there's two versions of this pack. There's a men and a women's version. This review will count for both versions. I've tested this pack, and so has Susan, and these are our thoughts. With the men's version, you could find this in multiple colors, black and red, and you also have a Highland, Peat, and black. The women's colors include black and red, and also blue and gray. Also, there are alternate previous season colors that you could find at other retailers, but these are the ones available from Granite Gear. Previous season colors include yellow and black, orange, pine green, and so on. As I mentioned before, the retail price of this pack is $200, but it's fairly common to find a sale on this pack. So $140, $160, that's fairly common. With each version, you could find these in multiple torso lengths. The short torso length is 15 to 18 inches, the regular is 18 to 21, and the long is 21 to 24. The waist belts are fully adjustable, from 26 inches all the way up to 42. The weight of these packs is as follows. The short size is 2.2 pounds, the regular is 2.3, and the long is 2.4. As far as the materials go, you're looking at a 100D and 210 denier nylon. You're looking at a molded PP frame and YKK zippers. The load rating for this backpack, according to Granite Gear, is 35 pounds. I will talk extensively about that rating in this episode later on. This is a 60-liter backpack, and the measurements of the body itself are 23.5 inches by 16 inches by 8 inches. Moving to the lid, this offers you 5 liters of capacity. As far as stats go, let's stop there for now. Let's take a look at this backpack and go over the features of this. First off, you have this lid here. This is fully removable. You have buckles in the front and the back, so you can take this off when you do not need it. Now, unfortunately, you cannot use this as a backpack or use it as a waist belt. This is simply a lid, and that's it. There's no pocket on the inside, but there is a pocket on top. You have a draw pull, a YKK zipper, and inside of this, you have a lot of space. This is a very good sized pocket. On top of the lid, you have multiple loops, so you can attach additional gear. What I like to do in situations like this, when you have these loops, is take some shot cord and make some crisscrosses, so you can easily put your sweater or whatever you want to on top, and then you can cinch it down. With the lid out of the way, what you have here is a roll top system. You have a compression strap, a buckle for the roll top. Behind the roll top, you do have access for a hydration bladder. You have tube ports, left and right, and that is in the center. Going down, you have 2 front compression straps. Behind that, you have a very large, stretchy mesh pocket, and this is awesome. You can fit a ton of gear inside of this pocket. For myself, I've been using it for rain gear, water crossing shoes, and a water filter. Also a pack cover for this pack. You can see down at the bottom, you have straps for trekking poles and so on. And with the pack flipped over, you have 2 more compression straps on the side, and you have extremely large hydration pockets. Inside of these pockets, you could fit multiple 1-liter water bottles, your trekking poles, so on and so forth. You really can fill these pockets full because they're huge. They are fully adjustable, so you can make them nice and tight. You have a draw pull. The other side of the pack is exactly the same. You have 2 compression straps, huge water bottle pockets, and this is the bottom of the pack here, and as you can see, there's no straps or anything like that. Before we go to the inside of the pack, let's take a look here at the back. You have a grab handle here, you have the shoulder straps, you have load lifters, you have a sternum strap that's fully adjustable. You do have a waist belt. This is also fully adjustable. This will actually extend and retract. On the waist belt, you do have pockets, 1 zipper each, and that's on both sides. On the shoulder straps themselves, you have some additional webbing so you can attach gear, like I've done right here. This is my carry and conceal pouch. I recently got back from a trip from Colorado with this backpack, and during that trip, I carried my handgun with me in this pouch, and it works very well. This is from Z-Packs, by the way. It's a little bit expensive, but it really does work great for that purpose. So that is not included with this backpack. This is something that I've added myself. Going behind the harness system, you have the back of the pack. You have raised sections. You have indentions here for ventilation, some lumbar support, and you also have just a little bit of mesh on the back here. So you do have to be careful with the back here. You can't just throw this down on a rock because this mesh will get torn up. That mesh covers the entire back of that sheet, and it does help, again, with ventilation and hot spots. Now let's take a look at the inside of the pack. What will catch your attention here is just how much space that you have. The inside of this pack is cavernous. It's huge. It can hold a ton of gear, which is good and also bad. I will talk about this in more detail in just a minute. But on the inside here, you can see the ports for your hydration hose. You have a zipper on the inside, and that gives you access to the frame sheet, which you can see here. There is no hydration sleeve, but there is a hydration clip to support your bladder if you use one. And outside of that, folks, that's it. So we've gone over the stats and the features of this pack. Let's talk about my experiences with it. I've been testing this out for numerous months now. I have roughly 150 miles of hike time with this pack. Most recently, my hike was around 40 miles with this in Colorado. That was a very tough trip, and it really taught me a lot about this system. My previous experiences, my previous trips, were very ultralight in nature. My loadouts would range from 20 pounds to 25 pounds. This Colorado trip, I really pushed the limits of this backpack. At times I had 30 pounds, at times I had 40 pounds. It really depended on how much water I was carrying. So without a doubt, over the last couple of months, I've learned a lot about this backpack. So let's go ahead and talk about the good things about it. Let's talk about the pros here. And as I do so, I will share some footage from that Colorado trip. Overall, the quality of this pack is very good. The construction is excellent. There's no issues when it comes to seam work or anything like that. There's no loose threads. The durability of this pack is average in my opinion. You have to keep in mind that this is an ultralight pack that costs roughly $200 and under. Again, you could find this for like $160, $140 like I did. Durability is not bad for the price. If you want a much stronger pack, a pack that's going to last you multiple through hikes, I would recommend something from like Z-Packs, the Arc Blast for an example, or maybe something from Hyperlight Mountain Gear. The Dynamo material is much stronger than this nylon here. Anyways, overall the quality is good, the durability is good, not great. Already I do have some holes developing, especially on Susan's pack. She has one little hole, I've noticed some fraying here and there, and that's being very gentle by just simply putting the packs on the ground, never brushing up against any sort of rocks or anything like that. So again, you have to be careful with this pack. The weight is very good. Another pro is that you can get multiple torso lengths. It's non-adjustable, but you can get the short, the regular, and the long. So most people can find a pack that fits their needs as far as the torso length goes. The lid is excellent. There's a lot of space here, and you can take it off when you don't need it. The roll top functionality is awesome. I love that feature. You can expand the pack when you need to. You can roll it down when you need to. You have the compression strap on top. It's good stuff. The next pro that I have for this pack is that it's very simple. This is a very simple pack, and that may be a good thing or a bad thing, depending on who you are and how you like to pack your gear. For myself, I love simple packs. I don't need a ton of pockets, and that's a good thing for me at least, because this pack doesn't have many. You have 2 waist belt pockets, you have a lid pocket, that's it. Outside of that, you have the main portion of the body, and you have that mesh sleeve in the front. That's it as far as pockets go. I like to use kit bags. That way I can open up my pack, I can look inside, and I can say, hey, that's my fire kit, oh, that's my first aid kit, that's my miscellaneous kit, that's my power kit, and so on. I know what bag holds what, and I can easily grab it and go. I don't have to mess around with opening a ton of zippers and digging around inside. So for myself, I like simple packs like this. But if you're someone who wants a ton of pockets, this is not the pack for you. As far as adjustability goes, this pack is very good. Talking about the adjustable waist belt for a second, that is an important feature, especially for thru hikers. Week after week on the trail, as you're losing weight, you will want to be able to really cinch that down. So for a thru hiker, that makes a ton of sense. The price of this pack is excellent in my opinion, especially when you compare this to other ultralight offerings, Z-Pack, Hyperlight Mountain Gear, and so on. The prices of those packs are substantially higher than this one here, especially if you find a pack on sale. Again, I paid $140 for this. I want to say that I paid almost $400 for my Arc Blast in the past. So you can see the difference there. Of course, everyone, things aren't as simple as just price alone. There are multiple factors involved when purchasing a pack. For an example, with the Arc Blast, that is my favorite ultralight pack. I absolutely love it. I love the frame. It's super comfortable, even when you're carrying a heavy loadout. And that's not the case with this backpack. And I'll touch upon that in just a second. So do keep in mind, price, value, functions, features, all of those aspects go into the equation when it comes to finding a good backpack for you. for you. Anyways, let's keep on going. The next pro for this backpack is ventilation. The ventilation overall is not bad. I've definitely tested out packs that are much worse than this. The ventilation here is adequate, without a doubt. If you're pushing yourself, it's a hot day, you will sweat, your back will get wet with sweat, of course. But because of the design of the back itself, you do not have any hot spots. Even on a really hot day, going straight up a mountain, really pushing yourself, you won't notice that your back is on fire like you will with some other packs. So overall, the ventilation is good. I've already spoken about the water bottle pockets on the sides of the pack. They are super impressive, super large. You can fit a ton in there. The waist belt does have pockets, one on each side, and they are of a very good size. They can easily hold your keys, a snack, a map, medium-sized phone, and so on. The compression straps on this pack are also excellent. You have 2 on each side, you have 1 over the top, and 2 in the front. You really can hunker down your loadout and control it. Also, you can use those compression straps to attach gear on the outside of the pack. The next pro that I have for this pack is not overly important, but it does matter, the looks. As far as looks go, I like this pack a lot. The black, the red, it looks sweet. On camera, the red may look a little bit more pink, but in truth, in real life, it is red. Also, Susie did like the gray and blue pack that she has. Speaking of which, that's another pro, there is a woman's version. And lastly, folks, the materials are reasonably water resistant. Don't expect to be out in the rain and keep your gear dry, but if it's a quick little shower, you will be fine. In heavier downpours, you will need a pack cover or a liner. And that takes us over to the cons for this backpack. Now, I tell you what, folks, after testing this pack out thoroughly, I am a little bit disappointed all in all. Granite Gear is a great company that makes some great packs, but in my opinion, the cons for this pack are fairly substantial, and for some people, they will be deal breakers. One of the biggest issues with this pack is comfort, unfortunately. This pack simply is not that comfortable. You really have to control your weight loadout for this pack to make sense. At least that's my opinion. This pack has a weight limit of 35 pounds. In my opinion, that advertised load range does not make any sense for this backpack. It's simply too much weight. Even 30 pounds is too much for this pack. At that point, it's simply uncomfortable. For this pack to be comfortable, you need to keep your weight loadout, your load range, around 20 to 25 pounds. No more than 25 pounds, in my opinion. After 25 pounds, this pack is extremely uncomfortable. I mean, it really is. For my ultralight trips, I did not mind this at all, but I did feel it still could be better. I felt like with some improvements, it could be an even better pack, and I'll talk about those improvements in just a moment. Talking about the problems with comfort, these are issues that I've had and also Susan had as well. We are exactly on the same page, and after doing a little bit of research, I see that others have the same opinion as we do. As far as comfort goes, it's only moderate with this backpack. The lighter weight that you can go, the better off you will be. The 35-pound load rating for this pack is way too generous. It does not make any sense at all. And also, because of that, the 60-liter aspect of this pack doesn't make any sense either. It really needs to be right at 50 liters, maybe 55 at the most. If the weight limit is going to be low, then you simply do not need this much space because you're just carrying frivolous material for no reason. You're carrying extra weight when you can't even use it comfortably. As soon as you go above 25 pounds with this pack, you really begin to realize just how thin and hard the shoulder straps are and how thin and hard the waist belt is. While the pack can carry more than 35 pounds easily without tearing, it's not comfortable at all. When you compare this backpack to other ultralight offerings that are out on the market, you begin to see that you can carry so much more weight in those other packs. This one here, I mean, right at 25 pounds, that's the comfort limit. So you really need to ask yourself, when considering this backpack here, the Crown 2, how much weight are you going to put in it? Are you going to carry over 25 pounds? Because if you are, I would recommend going with something else. If you're interested in a Granite Gear backpack that features a greater load range, check out the Blaze. It can carry substantially more weight than the Crown 2. This pack has another huge problem, which adds to this pack being uncomfortable. And you can see it right here, folks. Let me turn this to the side. You can see where my thumb is. That's the lumbar support. You have the waist belt. With most backpacks, the pack itself, the body, right? It will end at the bottom of the lumbar support, the bottom of the waist belt. That's not the case with this backpack. You can see here, this is where it ends, but the pack continues down roughly 2 inches, right? Because of that, you have a problem. The pack doesn't distribute the weight evenly. It doesn't put the weight where it needs to be. The weight of the pack needs to be on that lumbar, on the waist belt, and the shoulder straps. But because it sticks down below the waist belt and the lumbar support, it just pulls right on the back. It does. So As you go above 25 pounds, you really begin to notice that this pack is pulling down. You can feel it on your spine, and there's nothing that you can do to adjust it. This, in my opinion, is a design flaw. This 2 inches here really does detract from the comfort of this pack. This is something that Granite gear needs to fix with future versions. Now let's talk about the sternum strap. This is a weird little issue with this pack, but it's one that I've had and Susan's had as well. So you have the sternum strap and you have the buckle right here that it clips into. The issue is that oftentimes you will find that for some reason this buckle does not clip into this one easily. I've spent seconds fooling around with this to get it to fit, and so has Susan. So it's an issue on both the men's version and the female version. Even though the buckle is in the proper slide grooves, there's times where it simply does not want to go in correctly. So you have to pull it out, you look at it, well, what did I do wrong? Nothing. See, right now is a great example. Take a look. Well, it wouldn't go in for some reason. It's locked again. It doesn't go in. It really is one of those things. It's very minor, but it is annoying and it needs to be addressed. You shouldn't be fiddling with your sternum strap. Put your pack on, buckle the waist belt, sternum strap, and go. You shouldn't have to fiddle. And everyone, those are the pros and cons that I have for the Crown 2. Ultimately, the most important thing to keep in mind after watching this review is comfort. If you're considering this backpack, how much weight are you going to put in it? If it's over 25 pounds, I would not recommend it. So just keep that in mind before you go out and spend your money on this pack. These are the issues that Susan and I've had with this pack, and these are issues that other users have had as well. If you go searching online for reviews of this backpack, these are complaints that many others have had. To Granite gear, there are a few things that you all need to address. The harness system, the waist belt, needs to be thicker, softer, more comfortable. The bottom of the pack does not need to extend past the lumbar support in the waist belt. That makes no sense. All of the weight inside of the backpack is pushing down below the waist belt. It's putting pressure on the shoulder straps and also on your back, and it makes this pack less comfortable. This buckle here, the sternum strap, sucks. As far as my review goes of this backpack, I'm done. Make sure to comment down below, share your thoughts. What do you all think about this pack? If you have one, do you agree on the issues that I've pointed out? If you do not have one, are you interested in this pack? Does a 25-pound load range make sense? In my opinion, it doesn't, especially for a 60-liter backpack. This pack offers way too much space, and the load range is way too limited. Folks, that's my review. I appreciate you all for tuning in. Again, the Outdoor Gear Review is agenda-free. I'm not trying to sell you products. I don't do sponsored stuff, nothing like that. I share information. That's it. That's all. So make sure to hit the thumbs up because it does help the channel. Everyone, take care, be well, strength and honor. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye, folks.